Hello, America. We are your heretics, or at least I am today. And we're going to get into a little bit of heresy here. I just got finished watching the Democratic debates, and unfortunately, Nathan is not going to be with me tonight. He is busy with college stuff, so you're going to have to forgive him for that. But I'm going to run through each one of the candidates, and maybe I'll be able to get him a bit of a update. He didn't see the debates yet, so I will be making a hot take, and then we'll probably have a bigger video about what it actually means. But the hot take for now, I'm gonna start just by going left to right on the normal lineup, and this isn't scripted, so I'm just gonna be talking away. Anyways, let's get into it.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in man pants.
Because we're gonna go in there, we're gonna impeach them all.
We will not go quietly into the night.
I'm not going to let him come here and burn this flag.
So that portion
You don't
of what we
think
do.
you have a monopoly?
America will never be a socialist country.
Amy Klobuchar, an interesting person. She claims to be in the middle, a moderate. However, she does support a assault weapons ban, which, as we know, means nothing because assault weapons can mean anything that they want it to mean. So, yeah, I mean, out of all the candidates there, I have the least amount of concerns with Amy Klobuchar. She's not going to make it in the polls, so it's not really that important. And I'm not considering her anywhere near the presidency, and not even the vice presidency. Unfortunately, she's not what the Democratic base wants, and she didn't show herself today. Cory Booker, Cory Spartacus Booker, as over dramatized as ever. Cory Booker is back, and I can't remember which part of the debate, but I just remember he went really, really hard on something that was really kind of all right. He was very passionate when they asked him about what does resilience mean and whatever. But Cory McBooker, still Cory McBooker. I don't know who does a strategy for him. It's kind of crazy. I remember at the end of the debate, he was talking about how they needed to have it be a referendum on the Democratic Party, which is interesting because, as we know, the referendum on the Democratic Party, on at least Hillary Clinton, the Democratic candidate, was what put Trump in office. So, I mean, go on, Cory. Let's see it. I'm excited. Uh, interesting person. I don't know much to say about Cory Booker other than he's just a bit much, and I think we all know that. Pete Buttigieg, or Pete Buttigieg, if you listen to Steven Crowder. He's an interesting. I say that a lot, I know, but it's an interesting debate. So he's an interesting person. After seeing the debate, I saw he leaned quite heavily on his veteran status, and so deceivingly, he may seem like a blue dog Democrat, but he's anything but. He is a radical. Again, this whole story about him living under the regime of Mike Pence in Indiana. What a joke. He brought that up again at the debate, and everyone's like, "Oh, yes, yes, we do need to watch out for evil Mike Pence and his electroshock therapy." Man, the other things about Pete Buttigieg, well, yeah, like I said, he is leaning on his veteran comments quite a bit. The thing about the Democratic Party, you don't need to have good ideas as long as you are of adequate authority on the subject. So, for example, only a black person can speak about black issues on a serious level, and a white person can't disagree with them. Only gay people can talk about gay issues when they're being contradicted, and and it was really interesting when he was talking about how I mean it goes without saying everyone's dishonest, of course, but he's really just ginning up pointless victimhood points with the Democratic base, when in reality he's just a white male who happens to like men. If you didn't know, he's gay. The joke that Steven Crowder made quite a bit over the live stream. I watched some of the live stream, but then I went back to the debate because I wanted to hear it. I mostly wanted to do the drinking game because, well, for obvious reasons, I'm sure. Pete Buttigieg, really is he's grasping at straws, and that's all I can really say about it. But it was but back to what I was saying, it was really interesting how he was talking about how he was elected by social conservatives, but then just that's another thing I was going to discuss actually. People who get in the debate said he was asked a question, if you support Donald Trump, are you supporting racism? And he said yes. So I don't know if you knew this, but apparently everyone who supports Donald Trump is a racist. I had to text Nathan about that, and he thanked me for letting him know that he was indeed a vicious racist who wanted to kill Latinos. So, he doesn't seem to understand the lessons of the real world. He was elected by social conservatives. He admits so himself in his social conservative district at South Bend. And then he turns around and he calls all social conservatives racist, or at least the ones who support Donald Trump, which are the majority of them. So I can't wait to see how he gets reelected. But South Bend, as far as I'm actually gonna look that up. All right, yep, I just got some of the information. It's on Wikipedia, but forgive me. It's a democratic state. He won off of the African American vote, who he then betrays. I don't see why we're giving him a ton of legitimacy as this moderate. He won in a very blue district, and in Indiana. If you go out that way, there are a lot of unionist workers. My family's from out there, and there's no excuse why he shouldn't have won that race. He didn't appeal to anybody's better nature. He just won it, and there's nothing to be too proud about. Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is, I was kind of shocked today. I saw Bernie Sanders versus Joe Biden. That was really the show today. Was Bernie Sanders versus Joe Biden, and then Yang, which is always fun to listen to Yang. I'll get to him in a minute, but Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden really went at it today, and Sanders effectively did try to deliver some blows to Biden, except it's the same. He repeats the same lines over and over again, so Biden can plan for that. And when Joseph R. Biden is beating you in your own at a debate that you should be winning, it's really just kind of hilarious. I was watching Biden actually get more cheers from the crowd than Bernie Sanders for saying the same policy. Bernie Sanders intentionally misrepresented Biden's position. Biden defended himself quite well, I think. He is repeating the same things. He got asked the question about is socialism Venezuela, and then he brought back Scandinavian countries and all this stuff because that's just what he does. Bernie Sanders is he only has one card in his playbook, and he thought it was invincible, but all of the candidates are now looking at him and they're seeing weaknesses. His old age. Bernie Sanders also looked like he was dying out there. He had a really raspy voice, more so than usual, and you could tell he just didn't want to be there. Though he did play around the audience a bit. He understands that he's repeating himself, but I mean, I'll give Bernie Sanders a credit where he deserves it. He's being an honest politician. He is telling you exactly what he thinks. Even if he's a bit of a hypocrite, he is still telling you exactly what he thinks and what he wants to do. Although, I swear, the amount of times I heard 1% owning all the wealth in the country in that debate, I had to nearly finish up a bottle of water. Joseph R. Biden Jr. Yes, I said his full name. Joe Biden. Joe Biden is probably. I was surprised. He made a good showing today. I thought Warren was going to pummel him, and Warren did not. She played a very, very passive campaign, where a very passive move this debate. But Joseph Biden really went. I keep calling him Joseph. He's just Joe Biden, creepy Joe Biden. He played himself pretty well. I actually found that I agreed with a little bit of what he was saying. And honestly, the attacks by the Democrats against him are kind of unfair. If I was a Democrat, I'd probably vote for Joe Biden, just because he seems like he has the most stage presence. He also seems to just have the most experience and be the safest bet. Even though he isn't, actually, he's lost every election he's ever ran for, except for when he ran for vice president underneath a winning candidate. I guess senator counts as well, but I mean presidential elections. And there's not too much I can say about Joe Biden. He performed really well today, and I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps leading the polls for a little bit longer. But don't expect that to last forever. I don't think Joe Biden has the energy, as our president would say. He's a very low energy guy, and he's really trying to incorporate some of that high energy that people like Andrew Yang or Beto or even butt gig really tried to exert today, to varying degrees. Elizabeth Warren. This was not a good day for her. This was, simply put, a disastrous day for her. She really didn't do that well. I shouldn't say she didn't do well. I think she did a basic job for what she was supposed to be doing. She needed to go out there and she needed to tell them, reassert her views to be the same views as she's been holding so far, and just maintain. Problem is that that's not how this is going to work, and I expect she's going to lose some of her support to some of the more energetic members on the stage. Debates will decide primaries, if you say the right things, and they will also decide general elections when they make campaign ads to attack them. She played it safe. She didn't attack Joe Biden, which I am actually kind of surprised. I thought everybody said that she's not going to. I thought she would, because it's her only main opponent right now is Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders is gonna fall behind. He has his base, and that's it. No, you either love him or hate him. Elizabeth Warren, on the meanwhile, can get that black support if she can just wedge herself in it and show that she's the right choice for black issues. But unfortunately, Elizabeth Warren didn't seem to attack Biden that much. She mainly focused on safe bets. By safe, I mean radical stuff that the base would really like. And yeah, I mean, and there was even some humanity there when she started going into her history and personal history. And so, I think she was a professor at I can't remember which school. Mitch Shapiro talks about it a lot, and I could tell that she used to be an interesting person. She really came up with the American dream, and yeah, although she did use her 1,124th Native American ancestry to get into the school, so there's only so much credit I can give. But she gave a good ending statement about resilience, and yeah, that's really all I can say about Elizabeth Warren. Kamala Harris. I have never seen a more dishonest politician on that stage than Kamala Harris. I've never seen somebody who openly, blatantly lies and tries to shrug off her record and avoids questions, and CNN did not press her on it. God forbid they go after her and actually make her answer questions, because women of color don't need to do that. It's ridiculous how dishonest she has been. She did this big story about how, she went through adversity and she was elected to office as the first black attorney general in the United States or whatever. If you know anything about Kamala Harris, you know that she got her position by sleeping with another politician. It's as simple as that. She got her foot in the door, and that's how she started her entire political career. She is founded on dishonesty and corrupt politics. Meanwhile, she tells us how dishonest and corrupt the current administration is. And honestly, when she goes after people, she went after a couple of people, especially Joe Biden. Kamala Harris is the best way I could describe Kamala Harris is, people say this quite a bit, is Hillary Clinton without the charm. Well, the little charm that Hillary Clinton had, and also slightly darker skin. The darker skin is what's kept her in the race. Otherwise, we would not be watching Kamala Harris try to batter people down. She disagreed with Joe Biden on a very interesting topic, though, and I wanted to bring this up because this is kind of scary, and I know slippery slope and all that, but when things come up in a debate and are not called out, it's going to become mainstream. The more radical you can be while not going too far will be the person who gets the nomination. It's not going to be Joe Biden with his electability. Unless something happens similar to 2016, where Joe Biden gets to steer some of the vote away, or maybe bleed off some votes and that people don't see, some dishonest voting. The person who's going to win this is whoever can be most progressive and most radical. Most provocative as well. No press is bad press, and then all press is good press. Joe Biden said that, I would love, it was something to a degree of, well, I'd love to ban guns, but the fact is I need to work with Congress on that, so I would do some real solutions. Kamala Harris, however, refused to do that. She claimed that, you can ban assault weapons using executive order. You can go against the Constitution, and even Joe Biden had to go out there and say, you need to consult constitutional scholars about that. No, apparently Kamala thinks that she can become a tyrant. It's almost like she's going back to becoming an AG, and she's just going to throw people in jail at her own will. I know it's a weak jab, but we have to make the jokes when they come. Anyway, I've said enough about Kamala Harris. I think that she is going nowhere fast, and I am expecting her to be on a vice presidential ticket, especially if she joins up with maybe perhaps gosh, which one of them has a good honestly none of them have a good chance of winning. But if she went with if she was vice VP for Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren, we would see a powerhouse, and ideally, you'd think that they would be the black vote. But even people of color are not big fans of Kamala Harris, which should be concerning for the Harris campaign. They're much more in favor of Joe Biden, who has an experience. Even Joe Biden, the man who said that Obama was the I'm going to be paraphrasing, was the first decent black man to run for office. Maybe most clean, I think he used. First clean politician, or something like that. I'll have to find the actual quote. I'll put it up on screen now. Yeah, I don't see Harris going anywhere. If she can't get the black support that she needs, she's not going to get the nomination. Andrew Yang. Yang Gang. Andrew Yang, he is my favorite person in this race. Not because he is, very, he's very insightful. I actually do kind of find some interest. In fact, I tweeted out earlier about how it's amazing he's making the Democratic Party clap for Donald Trump's policies. So, or at least proposed policies. He made the Democrats clap at deregulation of the healthcare system. It's like, okay, all right. And then he made Democrats clap at the at school choice, and of course increasing teachers' pay at stuff. But he did not go out there and say he is anti-choice. In fact, he didn't even go out against charter schools, which was what the question was about. Not just that, he also later comes in and he talks about making a deal with China. In fact, he says he's going to keep tariffs as a bargaining chip. It's almost like we know of a certain person who currently resides in a White House that is doing the same exact thing. It's remarkable, and I hope he gains some support. It would restore my faith in the Democratic Party, and also, he's just an interesting guy. I don't agree with his universal basic income, which is one of the main reasons why I would never vote for him. Although trust me, as a college student, I definitely wouldn't mind $1,000 a month. I don't see him going anywhere, and it's disappointing. I hope he runs as an independent and splits some of the Democratic vote, because they're not going to win anyway, and he could do a pretty good job as an independent, or if he ran with the Libertarians or something like that. I don't know if he's willing to do that, but it would be interesting to see. And I'd be rooting for him, in all honesty. I wouldn't vote for him. I'm afraid, as Nathan says, Daddy needs my vote, so I'll be voting for the Don. But yeah, I mean, Andrew Yang, very interesting guy, and I hope he does well. Best wishes to him, and congrats on making the Democratic Party fall in on itself and start supporting the president's policies. Beto O'Rourke. There was a brief moment where I thought that Biden just made a slight slip. It would definitely be a calculated slip if he called him Robert O'Rourke. I'll have to double check the video, and in fact, I'll maybe put the clip here if it's true. If not, then one could hope. Beto O'Rourke is quite possibly he's the laughing stock of this whole thing. It's funny when the CNN host is so desperate to show that Irishman O'Rourke, Robert O'Rourke, is Hispanic, that he goes out and he starts speaking Spanish to him. Robert O'Rourke has no idea what he is saying. I almost guarantee it. And I don't doubt he speaks Spanish, but he doesn't speak it very well from the last debate. And of course, he started off with a little bit of pandering, as they all did. I think Castro did as well. And then, in fact, Pete Buttigieg went out and said how he's going to translate it into. I don't know. Joe Biden went out actually and said that he's going to translate it into Spanish. No, he did a little joke. Funny stuff. Here's the clip. Beto is. I don't know why he's in the race. he is here. And he's got support. What he said on guns was absolutely terrifying. He wanted to confiscate the AR-15. I don't know what this is about the AR-15, and apparently you can get an AK-47 at a Walgreens here or something. Beto O'Rourke is desperate for attention. You can see it on stage. You can see him really trying, but also not wanting to hurt anybody. Of course, he's never worked a day in his life. He married into wealth, and the only reason why he ever was a known name was because he was running against Ted Cruz. It's scary that he came close to winning, but it's not due to him. Honestly, it is not due to him. It's probably due to President Trump because he's gotten the suburban women out in droves. I guarantee 2024, if we can get a candidate that seems to be moderate and really gets the support of the security moms, Democrats have a chance. It'll be a massive sweeping victory. But anyways, yes, Beto O'Rourke, pandering master tyrant who wants to take away all your guns. There's not really much I can say about him. He's kind of as funny as it is, Beto O'Rourke is a generic candidate now, and he's very boring. And I find it hilarious. Julian Castro. Unfortunately, this man comes from my home city of San Antonio, Texas. And he was the mayor of it. And he was going into details about about Castro was his mother's name, and I just thought to myself, of course it was. I don't know if he went to a single mom family. I can't remember, honestly, on the top of my head, but oh well. Julian Castro is a panderer. He panders. He really tries to get the support out in Texas, but it's just not there. You're not going to get the support that you want in Texas. Julian Castro is something of... He's sort of a mixture between Beto O'Rourke if he was actually Spanish. He didn't seem to go... I mean, he was pretty radical, but he didn't seem to go as far as, say, Buttigieg, or whatever. Julian Castro is still a progressive, and he's just a generic progressive at this point. And the only thing he has going for him is that he's from Texas, but Beto has that as well. And I believe Beto is higher in the polls. I may be wrong about that, actually, but the fact is we have 2 Texas congressmen who have no business being here. They're not going to get the support that they need. They're not going to flip Texas if they actually voted. Honestly, I'm kind of curious to see what the Democratic Party during the primaries will vote for in Texas. Will it be Beto or will it be Julian? Who knows? Maybe it will be none of them and just be a slap in the face. I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch. And Julian Castro, I'm afraid, is just too uninteresting for me to keep track of all that closely. Who knows? Maybe I'll eat my words and he'll be one of the most. Maybe he'll be a front runner. Maybe he'll take the nomination. I'll eat my words, but do it, Beto. Do it, Julian. Take the nomination. I want to see the American people crush your dreams. Well, that's the lineup overall. Kind of a more. I mean, there was definitely some more kicking. Bernie Sanders and Biden just went at it. It was pretty interesting. Pretty fun to watch, actually. Some other highlights of the debate. Some protesters got up. I'm afraid I was off to the bathroom. I missed the protesters getting up and shouting at. I think it was Biden when he was trying to give an answer to resilience. What is resilience to you? On their last quotes, the 2 ones I liked were Biden and Yang. That's not because I like the candidates, though I do like Yang. Biden gave probably the most bipartisan speech on resilience, and probably the most actually helpful one. Maybe next to Yang, but it made me actually feel something for Biden. I don't actually feel anything for him. I think he's a dishonest politician who lied about the death of his own family to advance his political career. But if I was just someone watching the debate, that last bit, I would pick out 2 people: Biden and Yang. No, sorry, maybe Buttigieg. Cory Booker was hilarious, was bad. Although he over dramatized it as he does everything. But yes, Pete Buttigieg, he went out and he would probably be someone I'd look at. Biden would be someone I looked at, and Yang just gave a very upbeat message and explained his way through business, explained how he was a failure. He has an American story. Immigrant from Asia comes over. Andrew Yang is his son, and Andrew Yang goes up and becomes an entrepreneur and a CEO. It's really interesting. Unfortunately, Andrew Yang is in the wrong party. I tweeted about this during it. He's in the wrong debate. He will not get anywhere with the Democratic Party. To them, he is the part member of the bourgeoisie. It doesn't matter if he's Asian or whatever. He actually made a joke, which I think is endearing. He made a joke that actually was effective, though not a lot of people laughed at it. He said how, as an Asian, I know a lot of doctors. And a couple people laughed. A couple people who were honest laughed. Everyone else was, oh, well, that's some dark humor right there. I don't know about that. He was probably the major winner of the debate. Biden did really well. Sanders did. Buttigieg came out pretty well as well. Warren kind of died. Harris kind of died. Well, the problem is that they're both very uncharismatic people. I don't see the charisma in Elizabeth Warren. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see the charisma in Kamala Harris. In fact, I kind of get the opposite of charisma in Kamala Harris. But anyways, that's my hot take on it. We'll probably have a more in-depth video when Nathan comes around. I just want to get this out there to sort of let you guys know that this channel is not dead. We're going to work on things. We just got a little busy with integrating the college studies. There'll be plenty of videos, I'm sure, about. I'm planning on putting out several videos on the death of the liberal arts because I am going to a liberal arts school at the moment. I'm writing and stuff like that. In fact, I will provide a link to my other channel if you want to go check out some of that stuff. I haven't put any videos on it, but you're more than welcome to subscribe and maybe wait a bit and see what I can produce. I don't know how good it'll be, but I'm gonna do it. I got the script written down and it should be interesting. In other news, Nathan is currently very busy in college. It may just be me for a while. I'm still working with him, and he's gonna be on social media. Drag him in as much as I can, but the man's busy. He's in a STEM field, so he's actually getting a proper education out of his education. So he's busy, and it's gonna be a while before I think that I'll be definitely trying to get more videos out. I'll be tweeting a little bit more, be more active on the channel. I finally have found my own free time. I hope he does as well. We will be having another video soon, probably next week, and that is a surprise video. It is a reaction video. I'm going to be talking with him, and it may end up being a vlog style video. We're going to find out. In the meantime, though, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please check out our Twitter or Instagram, and if you're interested in more content like this, just stay tuned. Be patient with us. We're new to this whole thing. We're going to be trying to get out more videos, whether it's me and Nathan. Or me and somebody else. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, and God bless. This is just a quick update. I saw some of the local news agencies and the media really trying to push the idea that Biden didn't do well. The truth is he's in a no-win situation, and for what he did, I was expecting him to do a lot worse, which is why I went out and said he probably did a good job. I'm going to stand by my thought that he actually did do a good job, and that he's probably going to last a little bit longer in the polls now. He didn't get absolutely pummeled. He effectively dodged and countered Bernie Sanders. In fact, he went off and put him in his place. He actually called out socialism, so that's actually going to be good for the American people. And then Elizabeth Warren again didn't really go after him. And I don't really count the smaller candidates going after him. I don't see that that's going to make a massive difference. I don't really care what Cashew has to say. I don't really care what Beto has to say. And yeah, I don't think that Democrats are really looking at that. I think they're looking at the big three, who their favorite candidate is. And right now, the favorite candidates are Biden, Bernie, Warren, and maybe Yang, though that's maybe too optimistic. But I think the real winner of this debate is probably Yang. Anyways, that was just a quick afterthought after looking at some of the early replies about 5 hours after the debate. Editing takes a while, so yep, just that's kind of it. So again, subscribe, like the video, follow us on Facebook and everything, and I'll see you next time. God bless.